Unless he's farming a neutral camp at the same time, in which case the passive will be disabled.
Yes, and also, but sometimes it can be a bit of a bit confusing if you're trying to like get these D wards on Slark, 'cause it's something he's really useful for. When you're playing a support and you have a Slark on your team, you have a great time because you like an absolute god. Because you just D-ward everything, just like reading out all these positions for you.
Yeah, and absolutely. And a lot of the things we see teams do is they tend to buy a lot of sentries for their Slark players so that they don't even have to go and D-ward themselves. They just they'll give them to Nisha, so whenever he sees a ward on the map, Nisha will know where the wards are, just being careful with his positioning with the Shadow Dance.
But the Knicks can mess with that a little bit. But we are underway. Secret versus LGD. We're loaded up, no more pauses, and we are into this game. Of course, if you think you know who's going to win, you will be able to place a bet with ESBet, 125% bonus on your first deposit. Details in the description below. Go and check it out. There's Mid1 and Puppey hanging out on the high ground here, looking to maybe get themselves a ward. Nisha, is he going mid lane Slark? He is. He's got shared tangos.
Okay, that's interesting. So.
And this is going to be against the DK.
I guess DK is one of these heroes where you kind of just always trade farm, though. Like, you don't really contest the enemy mid-hero. Like, you can, obviously, with the denies and whatnot, but Nisha, he has really high base damage on this Slark as well, especially with the Quelling Blade. He should be absolutely fine in that lane, and giving Slark a good start, giving him the solo XP like we talked about to get to that level 6, is going to be really important for Nisha.
Certainly unconventional from Secret. We'll see how it pays off. We have a little bit of a fight here. It comes Rush, but nice stun from FY. They're going to still connect with the Inkswell. Meanwhile, Bounty goes to you, and they will be able to get the first blood onto the Nyx Assassin. Mid1 picking that one up. It's always scary to give Mid1 first blood on his Ember Spirit.
Yeah, absolutely. And this Lich is just such a scary hero to play against around the runes at the start of the game if you're not playing mobile heroes. Having that Frost Shield constant slow available for 6 seconds, and especially with the chains from Mid1 on top, makes it so difficult for anybody in this lane.
Yeah, and that Frost Shield and Inkswell combo, pretty nasty level 1. The LGD not prepared for that one at all. So we have this top lane. Good one. They're going to throw the shield out again as he just kind of, you know, it's good little harass and stops him taking damage from the, as much damage from the Iron Shield.
Nova taking a lot of damage in the top lane as well, but yeah, this mid lane's going to be an interesting one. I think it should just be, like we said before, a case of just trading farm. Obviously, DK has a Breathe Fire. Slark can just always just Dart Pack for CS if he needs to as well. And having that Essence shift in the mid lane as well, which Nisha has taken at level 1, is really going to help his CSing ability, just stealing some of those stats away from the DK.
Yeah, it's a fairly nice lane for Nisha, I would imagine. I mean, it's really hard to call, but in theory, you know, DK is one of these guys that likes to just sit in a lane and AU could be in trouble. Getting low, X-Nova with the right-click damage, but the Inkswell will go off. AU to the tree line. Meanwhile, they're going to stun up Army on the back line. Zai, though, getting turned around on here. He doesn't have that much health. He's actually going to die here. AU coming out, trying to find the kill onto Arme, but might be in trouble as X-Nova with all of this right-click damage. Is he going to dive for top of this? You betcha, and he's going to get himself a double kill on this Elder Titan. Oh dear.
It's so difficult to lane up against Elder Titan as a hero, though. It's so incredible. Like, the power it brings in the laning stage, being able to get that damage and the armor from the creeps, the heroes, even the neutrals in the jungle as well. Just, there's really not many heroes that can battle up against it.
Double damage.
Yeah, and like, I mean, it hurts so much, as we saw right then as Mid1. The steering chains to secure that last hit. FY coming in as well, but I mean, Mid1's pretty much fine here, and Puppey's always around. He's actually got a double damage harass up with FY now. Frost Shield coming down himself. They might be making a play here. Steering Chains comes out onto the Nyx Assassin. Mid1 looking through the trees with Puppey with the double damage, but FY into the tree line makes it very difficult, especially with Chaz joining in as well. Puppey is going to go through this little corridor here, and we'll be able to move out away from Chalice, away from danger.
I like the panel made. I like the point the panel made as well about this Nyx in the position 4. When you have the Darkseer as your 3 in the same lane, you can kind of just shove the lane in with the Darkseer and allow this Nyx to try and get some pulls off on the side camp. You know, Nyx is a pretty greedy position 4, and every XP point you get really improves the skills on this hero massively, especially the cooldowns. So FY should be able to get a decent amount down in that lane.
Meanwhile, up at the top, the Stroke of Fate comes out onto Army. A little bit of annoying harass from AU here. Of course, the stand-in for Team Secret. A lot of eyes on him. It's his opportunity to make a name for himself, you know, given a fantastic chance here with Team Secret. And we did see a great Oracle from the other day, as now they come out with the stun and the Inkswell. Here's the combo coming out onto X-Nova, and he is just going to drop so quickly, and that will be a return kill in this top lane for Team Secret. A little bit worried there. They did drop 2 kills, Team Secret up in this top lane, but Zai and AU have managed to get a return now, so should be a little bit more confident in their laning as they actually go forward ahead onto Arme. Stroke of Fate doing so much damage with the grip from Zai as well.
Good positioning there from AU to get the maximum amount of damage from the Stroke of Fate. And when you hit the level 3 in this lane between Zai and AU, there's so much burst damage coming out between the two of them with the Stroke of Fate, with the Inkswell as well. Arme's just taking so much harass up here.
Yeah, it's a salve popped from him quite early. Struggling to deal with the damage coming out from these two.
It's a relatively even laning stage so far, though, for both teams. Ember's not having a great time down in that bottom lane, but again, you kind of expect it a little bit up against that Darkseer, constantly shoving your lane and making UCS under tower as well.
Yeah, we know mid one, even on his Ember Spirit, sometimes he has a bad lane, but he'll always come back again. 9 times out of 10. Meanwhile, actually Zai getting jumped on here as they've got a rotation coming in from FY, and AU looks like he might be the sacrifice here as he goes for the Inkswell to slow them down, but LGD, yeah, there's stun coming out from X-Nova. Zai trying to help out with the body blocks. The one from AU is actually going to help him survive. Zai wants to turn this one around. The Inkswell will miss, and that will not be a kill for Team Secret, but or for LGD. And they're the ones who came in. Actually, the stun comes out. Puppey has joined in as well. The stun up Zai as AU comes forwards. LGD, they might lose FY here, but the Spike Carapace doing a lot of work. Zai chasing down with the Inkswell. This should finish off that pesky Nyx Assassin. Down he goes to AU, and that's going to be another kill for Team Secret up here.
Yeah, there was a lot of time invested by FY trying to get that kill in the top lane, but a fantastic Phantom's Embrace from AU just to stop that Impale coming out, keeping his Wraith King alive.
So Nisha in this middle lane currently 32-7 compared to the Dragon Knights 27-3. They talked about Slark getting shut down in the bottom lane, but nobody talked about Slark destroying the middle lane. I mean, he's not, well, that's an over-exaggeration for sure, but when you're laning against a Slark, when you're playing against a Slark in general, it's so good if you can shut him down in the laning phase, but you don't get rotations at all. Top lane, Ame, he's dropping really, really low here, but with the blur, gonna buy him a little bit of time, and now blinking away to his own range creep, and he wants to find him, Puppey as well, but he's gonna make it away, but still, this is Ame away from the farm, low on
hunting.
HP. He is, he sees him with that ward, he's gonna drag the creeps out to go for the Inkswell. Sorry, for the Stroke of Fate, but anyway, mid lane. Doesn't manage it.
Yeah, that would have been a great play, wouldn't it, if he got the angle with the Stroke of Fate off the creeps.
Oh, quite something. Oh, no. Ame, you can't do that.
It's always that classic, isn't it? It's when you want to go Roche, there's a double damage rune that spawns. Whenever you're really low, there's a regen rune that spawns. No matter what, 100% of the time, I'm sure.
Just looking at this net worth, we actually see Nisha 400 gold ahead of the Dragon Knight, and mid one doing better than the Darkseer down at bottom when it comes to straight up gold. So it's going pretty well. Oh, nice blink from Arme there to dodge the stun from Zai. Still takes it, but of course under the safety of his tower. Yeah,
this laning stage still very close. Not too much between them at the moment, but yeah, this Slark having a really good time. Can just push the lane out with Dark Pack now, then go back to the jungle, farm up.
Stun out onto X-Nova. Zai being controlled up by FY though, but the Inkswell as well onto this Elder Titan. They want to bring it down. Stroke of Fate comes through. They're only going to need a couple more clicks of stun though. It comes off from X-Nova. He's getting away on no health at all, and Zai can't finish off the kill. Meanwhile, they're jumping onto IU. Can they actually get this? They can. The stun comes out from FY, and that secures the kill up in the top lane for LGD. Non-stop action up here for Team Secret and LGD, and Zai and AU fight it out with FY and Arme.
Fantastic bit of play. Having this kind of 5 melee hero lineup makes it a...
X-Nova stun in again onto this Wraith King. Arme coming in as well, just with the old right clicks to help out, and Zai's being chunked down from all directions, trickling away his HP. FY with the body blocks, a blinking from Arme, and that's going to be Zai going down. Meanwhile, Puppey having to shrine up as Chas is chasing him down, but he will need a little bit of help, but thankfully mid one TPs himself away. He goes for the Remnant, but doesn't quite catch him. Goes for the Remnant again. This time a little bit more patient, but the Surge, he's too quick, and mid one will not get those chains off.
Yeah, he's going to wait to see if he can get the 8-minute rune here, down here as well. See if he's lucky, and he is. Gets an arcane rune.
Meanwhile, Nisha's doing the same thing he does on his Morphling when he's mid, on his Terrorblade when he's in the safe lane. He's alternating between the lane creeps and the jungle camps, you know, pushing it out, making as much of this lane as possible. This is really impressive stuff from Nisha. Unconventional at that, as well as the stuns get traded. And
under attack.
DK coming forwards on to Zai.
Yeah, they really want to try and push some towers down here with this Elder Dragon form. Slark not really a hero that want to rotate until he has that Shadow Blade up, so try and abuse that by going to different lanes with this DK. Just giving some mid lane XP to that Nyx Assassin in the meantime.
Yeah, that is one of the problems with Slark at mid, I guess, is that he doesn't really want to rotate and he doesn't really want to push either. Though FY, he's just going to go down in the mid lane. Nisha finds it.
And that's the problem. As soon as that Slark goes on you with the Dark Pact, you can't Carapace to stop him attacking you. It's so difficult. So goes for the TP, but still too much damage.
Dire's middle tower
Time creep down. And he says, no, me too, please. You're just getting it low for his friend, realizing that Arme isn't having the free game they want from this Phantom Assassin.
They haven't really achieved anything with that first DK form, though, which is a little bit worrying for LGD. You really want to be trying to use those aggressively whenever you can, but not achieving too much.
You have been denied.
Mid one, meanwhile, with an Arcane Rune in his bottle, now used.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job down here. The Flame Guard AoE is bigger than the Ion Shell, so if you can position yourself just far enough away from the creeps, they will burn down without your Flame Guard taking any absorption damage.
Well, Nisha still sitting comfortably on the top of the net worth on this mid lane Slark. Meanwhile, Xnova and FY can go head down to bottom as Chalice gets jumped on by mid one, but of course can just surge himself away, though coming back in as he knows he's got his support coming around. Somnus rotating through, and they're going to shove the Iron Shell on him, vacuum back into the Dragon Tail. Now the stun comes out from FY as well, and down goes a mid one.
Fantastic rotation by LGD. We see this from teams more and more these days, playing around those bounty rune spawns. You know the enemy team are going to want to be going for those, so abuse that, go for these kills, and fantastic vac into the Dragon Tail.
Nisha just forced to back out
Radiant's bottom
in the mid lane,
under
but
attack.
now with the Shadow Amulet up, feeling pretty good about himself. Meanwhile, Arme quickly popping that blur to get away from Zai.
Zai's doing a good job here, just pushing the lane in though. Trying to get some damage off onto this tower.
Oh, FY. Killed in the bottom lane. Secret surround him. And they're looking for more. They want to go on Somnus here. Mid one leading the charge. In comes Chalice as well, though. He's level 9 on this Dark Seer as they stun up. But Puppy there with the Sinister Gaze. Try and hold him back behind mid one. A little bit more time. Gets that Remnant out and gets himself away. The Ember Spirit will be safe.
And the problem for mid one is here that as soon as that Iron Shell comes onto the Dragon Knight and you're standing near him, a few seconds of that ticking through and your Flame Guard's completely gone. And without the Flame Guard being up in these early stages of the game, your damage output on Ember is so lackluster.
Slark coming in, but they are surrounding him. This is a lot of damage on Sinistria. He has to get himself away. The Shadow Dance is popped, trying to get himself to the tree line here. And meanwhile, Grimstroke with the ultimate, going to root them both up. Chalice and LGD. Somnus held in place. Dagger's coming out onto Zai, though. He hasn't actually leveled up that ulti yet. Is he holding the point, though?
Yeah, he's just got it.
Yeah, he just leveled up the point now. So even if he goes down here, we'll have that reincarnation available. LGD struggling to make it happen. The Stomp will tick off the reincarnation of the Wraith King. Spawns. Meanwhile, they go for mid one in the back line, but Arme can't find the crits in time. Meanwhile, now they look to Zai in the trees. AUT being out of this one. Do they have the interrupt? They do not. Zai, though, he's looking all alone here. Tries to go for the deny, doesn't quite manage it. And now LGD will chase him. It's 5-on-1 right now. Looking too good for the Wraith King as he taunts himself away. And this will be the end for Zai.
LGD doing such a good job at playing around this Iron Shell, though. 5 melee heroes. You can just shove it on all of them and just start running at them, battering them with the briefcase on ET, PA just jumping in.
Yeah, that's true. There's not a single person you don't really want to put this Iron Shell on, to be honest. So pretty free for Chalice to shove that one round as liberally as he likes.
Nisha is getting a decent amount of farm on this Slark, but I'm really struggling to see how this Slark's going to be able to keep up with this high tempo that LGD are pushing for at the moment with the DK. We saw this from them yesterday. They're just relentless.
It's a lot of pressure. And Secret, they just need a little bit more time, but Slark is going to come out with his Shadow Blade soon. I believe that is the timing that Secret are waiting for. And when they have that, we will see some aggression coming out of them.
Yeah, you really want to be able to pick people off alone on Slark, though. And the way LGD are playing at the moment, they're so grouped up together on this map. They're all within touching distance of each other. It's going to be really difficult for Nisha to find these solo pickoffs.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
With that Vendetta, as we assume, just getting that information using the full duration. And there's, okay, Boots of Travel out for mid one. And the Shadow Blade out for
Radiant
the Slark.
structures are fortified.
Meanwhile, Somnus gets his drums, and this should allow them to take this middle tower. Although the Inkswell does get used. Stun up onto AU, now with the Dragon Tail as well. Centaur going to help out, and there's a stop in from X-Nova. Very nicely done from LGD, just comboing up their stuns there nicely to get the easy kill onto AU there.
I mean, I think the fact that the DK has drums tells you exactly how they want to play this game on LGD.
Chasing for Arme here. It's a carry battle as in come the rest of Secret Army, now rooted up by these chains. Down he goes. That is your Phantom Assassin dying in the bottom lane, but LGD are not giving up in the mid as Chalice, Somnus, and FY gather up to push on this tier 2 using that Dragon form, getting the most out of it as they can. Zai comes in, throws the stun onto Chalice, and chases off LGD.
Yeah, we talk about LGD playing within touching distance of each other. That's the problem. As soon as Arme is seen in one of these side lanes alone, they will punish you for that. You've got to be careful here. And yeah, back to my other point is that you can really tell how LGD want to play this game by the fact that they have this drums on the DK first. They really want to up the tempo. Sometimes we see the Blink or the Shadow Blade first if you want to play a little bit more gank heavy, but with that drums, allowing you to group up as 5 and push towers is the aim of the game.
Of course, towers means, you know, more map control, and map control is one of the best things you can have versus a Slark.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, at the same time, like you mentioned before, he is going to know where you have those wards if there's nobody else around. So,
right,
have to be careful where you place them. Maybe putting them in some odd positions that we don't usually see.
LGD with the double damage rune on the DK. Zai going to get slowed up. Arme jumping forwards with the Phantom Strike as well. Drums being used. They want to bring down this Wraith King. He will have another life. Meanwhile, Chalice runs forwards for the bouncy rune as Zai gets finished off once. There's no heroes coming in from Secret, so this is going to be a very sad 2 lives for Zai as LGD surround him and slowly chip away. I mean, it's taken some time. it's really taken some time here. Zai making so much space with this, and actually AU comes in, now using the Inkswell as well. They'll drop the wall for it. Zai healing up with the Shrine. How is this man still alive? Now they're going to stun up Somnus. Zai finally gets brought down by the X-Venom, but the double Chain Frost. X-Nova, they're in trouble. Somnus and X-Nova are getting destroyed by the Chain Frost. AU will go down, but now Secret, they surround Somnus and they kill off the Dragon Knight. Secret with a huge turnaround, and Zai, he did die. He fought back, he came into the fight, he made that happen by just not going down there. Too stubborn, this man.
He is so tanky on this Wraith King. That looked amazing. He's just taunting out, doing the quick little dance, you know, baiting them in further. He's like, come on, guys, you're almost here. Come to daddy. Just shrines up. It's so difficult to bring down. They have to finally use that splitter to kill him, but they lose so much on LGD just to try and bring him down.
Top lane, they might be looking for Puppey there.
Oh, they're hunting.
Chalice, but Puppey just making his way through the tree line. Should be okay.
Oh, they're going to spot him on the creep wave.
Oh dear, the Great Escape. Not this again. But I kind of feel like at first Secret didn't want to help Zai. They were like, well, you're surrounded. There's literally 5 heroes chasing you. We don't have... Oh, never mind. They're jumping in here. Going onto the Darks here, and of course saving that leash until that surge is used. But nice double stun in from FY. Is it going to buy Chalice enough time? No, Sinister Gaze is out, and Nisha scoops up that kill onto the Darks here.
I feel like we always forget about Sinister Gaze as a skill when we talk about catch now. Like when I think about Lich, I still don't think about that skill enough. Like it's all about that Frost Shield in my head at the moment, and I feel like that Sinister Gaze is really underrated.
Not that it really matters that much, but does it break the... I think it will break the leash from Slark's Pounce, which, you know, probably won't change anything considering the length of Sinister Gaze, but interesting to know. Yeah,
if you're gazing somebody on Lich, they're probably alone, because it's not often you get into the middle of these fights on Lich, is it?
Mid one with the... I think he tried to TP to that creep, but don't know. Interestingly though, if you Sinister Gaze a target which is being lassoed by Batrider, currently it will break the lasso. So if you're a Lich and you're on the team with a Batrider, never Sinister Gaze a target because you just straight up break the lasso.
Insane game knowledge here. I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Sorry. Maybe does have this blink at the moment.
Ame just going to go for the PA here. This is really brave, but he does have the Shadow Dance available. Just came off cooldown, and now in comes AU and Puppey. The double Chain Frost again with the silence. Mid one's in as well, and they're going to claim both of these kills, but LGD looking to respond. The Searing Chains comes out, but no, they're jumping forwards. Can they bring down mid one? He is dropping low. The stuns are out. They keep him still. Can they finish him off in time? He can't get the Remnant out. Mid one is dead. Can LGD find any more as Zaya's EU? They're going to get back to their side of the map, and it doesn't look like there'll be any more drama in this middle lane, but is, I mean, the Phantom Assassin went down. Mid one is starting to suffer this game, but Nisha most certainly is not.
Yeah, definitely. If you can keep pushing this PA further and further down, that's the most important thing for Secret here. You know, LGD do like to play this kind of not 4 protect 1 style, but you know, having this ultra hard carry, and the longer you can keep this PA down while Nisha's farming on this Slark, the better chance you're going to have in this mid to late game with the farm differential.
Slark now actually does just go for the straight Silver Edge Rush, which he now picks up. Such a good item this game, and considering the start he's had, I'm not remotely surprised to see him build it. He can now disable that blur, and also disable the passive from the DK, which of course gets rid of his armor, which means the Slark can right-click through him all the quicker. Very, very nice stuff.
Absolutely. We said it at the draft at the start. If he has a good game, he can rush the Silver Edge and make the aggressive plays on the map, and he's...
I mean, can you see more aggressive than this? Just finding Arme, in comes a break, the leash will land as well, and Arme's just melting. He does pull off the blur though, and that will force Nisha away. Or will it? He's still looking. It's not quite done. Okay, now it's done. But X-Nova might not be as safe as he thinks. Meanwhile, they're initiating on the backlines on Secret here. As Zoe gets stunned. Meanwhile, in comes that Cold, the Soulbind. Stuns out onto
Not
both.
again.
And there's the Chain Frost. How many times are you going to pull this one off, Secret? Down goes Chalice. Meanwhile, Somna's not looking too healthy either as the rest of Secret come in and they take all 3 kills down here. Make that 4 as we had X-Nova dying earlier just to the Slark solo on the sidelines. And well, Alme does live, but Secret, they are making this draft look damn hot.
Do you remember when we started casting qualifiers at the start of this patch together? And I said to you, this Soulbind Chain Frost combination, you're hardly ever going to see this. You know, it's good if you can get it off, but don't rely on it. Unfortunately, when you pick 5 melee heroes on LGD, kind of makes it a little bit easier for the Grimstroke and the Lich.
Yeah, they don't exactly have their work cut out for them, but that said, AU and Puppey, every time I see this Soulbind come off, I'm like, oh, Puppey's not here, but he always is. He's always coming around the side. He's always ready. I must say, I mean, AU as well. You know, this guy, the stand-in, seems to be fitting into Secret really, really nicely for this tournament.
I mean, people were doubting Secret and whether they would be able to beat LGD with the stand-in. The panel were talking about it, and Secret is showing here they definitely can.
Well, I mean, still, you know, it's only a 4K gold advantage. Maybe not get ahead of ourselves, but, you know, the fact that they're doing this well definitely is a good thing. And the fact that they're doing this well and Grimstroke is being such a big part of this draft. Yeah, I mean, can't sing my praises for AU enough, really. Yeah,
absolutely. Never count out the PA. Absolutely never, especially with this Battle Fury that Arme's gone for. The farm speed is going to increase massively here now. And especially when that triple dagger comes out towards the level 20 talent, there's going to be a lot of damage coming through in these fights.
But, you know, the mid one has been given enough space to catch up as well. He went for this Maelstrom, so whilst the PA is getting fun, I mean, mid one is also going to be there as well. So there's now the double threat from Team Secret.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, mid one's doing okay, and this is what we said before, that they have these 2 really difficult to catch cores as well. So Secret at the moment, they're quite happy to just go and shove lanes out, be really aggressive. And well, they are actually going to smoke up here now.
What can they find? Mid one just checking out the Roshan with that sleight of fist there. Nisha, they're going to see him. They've got the sentry down. They know that Nisha is here, and Nisha probably knows he's spotted as well.
Yeah, he sees when his movement speed gets slowed down.
Now they'll jump onto the Nyx Assassin, but the stun in the backlines are holding down the Grimstroke. They know they don't want the Soulbind to come off. FY keeping him stunned. They're doing a great job, but FY has jumped. AU does finally die, but he gets it off, and the double Chain Frost, not again! LGD, and now the gaze! Puppey holding them still! It's 2 cores versus 1 support. Mid one making his way over, jumping on to Somnus here. Looks like PA did jump away to the backlines, but Somnus will not make it out. Nisha finds Arme in the backlines. Good lord, Secret. Lich and Grimstroke, what a combination. I've never seen a team play it this well.
How does Secret just keep bringing this off? Puppey managed to get the Frost Shield off onto Grimstroke to keep him alive just long enough in that fight to get the Soulbind off, and it just completely changed that fight. LGD tried so hard to bring down that Grimstroke first. You saw the DK blinking in and just rushing for AU, but just not enough damage.
This is some awesome Dota. This is some Puppey Dota right here.
Boy. I mean, the problem for Secret is here that we talk about how important this Roche is as well normally. They don't really have a great Roche lineup, so where normally, if they'd have won that fight in that area, they could have gone into the Roche pit. They don't really have that kind of physical damage that the PA does to be able to take that kind of objective.
Yeah, if they go for it, it will be slow. And you're also up against the Elder Titan and the Dark Seer, which are two very big threats. I mean, you've got the Wraith King on the side of Secret. He will help things out a bit with that aura. And the Skeletons can do a little bit as well. But yeah, it's very scary to go for Roshan with LGD's fantastic Roche fighting lineup.
Yeah, but if you see, if LGD win a fight, they can just go in straight away as long as the PA survives. Damage coming out from her with the crits coming through as well. Feels like Secret have to play almost like a perfect game here because LGD just take objectives so much better than Secret do. It's not just Roche, it's the towers as well. They might struggle to go high ground a little bit here this game on Secret if they don't win a fight before.
Well, Ame does now have the Battle Fury, but Nisha, he's hunting. He won't. Oh, now he sees Ame in the lane. He's had to make his way back over. FY is vendetted up though, and yeah, I mean the PA knows that Nisha is going to be permanently hunting.
Yeah, and I love this. I love that FY is playing with Ame because he knows Nisha is going to be hunting him constantly, all the time, looking for those solo kills that we mentioned, playing aggressive. So if FY just stays with him, you know, play in pairs, make sure you're not standing alone on this map at the moment. You do have some kind of defensive capability with that Nyx.
But Secret scouting the map here. They recognize that the PA is probably TP'd down somewhere, so this is what they're looking for, but I think the Slark was just looking ahead there to see if they had the sentry wards down or see if his smoke would pop, and I think it did.
Have you seen what Mid One's building?
No.
He's got a Satanic queued up on Ember.
Okay.
Not something I've seen before, I'll have to admit.
Gives status resistance now, I believe.
It does, definitely. And
that's pretty nice.
Exactly, and that's one of the reasons up against this Nyx, up against this DK as well. Even the Stomp from the Elder Titan is such a nice item to have.
I mean, it's nice, but at the same time, wouldn't a Lincoln's or something be better? I don't know. Meanwhile, Phantom's Brace comes down onto the Nyx Assassin. He does actually get the courier with a BKB on it. I'm assuming that was a BKB anyway, so it was Mithril Hammer and a... yeah, it was actually most of Nisha's BKB. Ouch. That's a pretty big pickoff from FY. I'm more than happy to die for that one.
Yeah, I agree with your point about the Linkers, but at the same time, it doesn't save you from the Carapace, which is the main threat for the end of this game, especially with the way he's playing, going for these boots of travel, trying to split the map open a little bit more.
All right, so he's going to rely on the extra tankiness and that save resistance as X-Nova could be in a bit of trouble here. Stun out from Zai, going to secure this kill. Nisha now on a mega kill streak, getting carried away on this slug. He's currently 12.9k net worth compared to the Phantom Assassin's 11.3.
Ame has caught up a decent amount considering how far he was behind before though. So LGD definitely not out of it yet. We've all seen what PA can do in the late game, especially when she gets that abyssal, you know, daggers flying everywhere, bashes coming out, and Secret. It feels like they're getting these pickoffs, but they're not kind of really turning them into objectives afterwards.
Yeah, that's always an issue with the Slark as well. You know, he can be this disruptive force around the map, but, you know, as we saw, he doesn't take Roshan very well, he doesn't take towers very well. And they've also got an Ember Spirit as well, so Secret very all-in on the whole hero domination thing. Yeah,
LGD, they do pick up this BKB on the DK now as well, so we've seen this before yesterday against Virtus Pro as well. LGD do a really good job at playing around these big BKB timings, and if they compare this DK one up with the PA BKB timing as well, they have a much better chance in these next engagements up against that Soulbind and the Chain Frost.
Yeah, that's been ruining their fight pretty much every time. It's been the big part. As Mid One will kill that catapult and claim himself 200 gold for it as well. So, I mean, they seem to be waiting for that BKB timing now on Secret. They just have to hold off a little bit longer.
I mean, you get your BKB timings on Secret, but if LGD get them at the same time, yeah, I mean, PA has the BKB.
This is LGD going for a fight.
This is exactly what we're talking about, though. They get these BKBs online, and they know they can play aggressive now. They really want to get a fight around this Roche pit, find a pick-off, and be able to transition that to get the Aegis onto Ame afterwards.
FY leading the charge up the hill. They're playing very cautiously here. They want to find the perfect initiation. Zai is definitely not the one they want to look for, but they might not have much of a choice. And they will see FY. It is right under a sentry there as well.
Radiant's middle
it's difficult for the... I mean, I think they know that something's going on here. Mid One's pushing in bot lane and nobody's there to defend, so Secret just going to back off from this top half of the map.
Mid One? He was out there pushing bottom, but then he remnanted back up to the fight. But, well, a fight they really don't want to take on Secret. They're doing a great job on avoiding this, and they're just trying to farm the map and make LGD waste their time a little bit. Nisha is up here. Meanwhile, they're going to start the fight. Nisha going, though, on to the Elder Titan. Going to bring him down. An easy kill into X-Nova. Meanwhile, FY trying to escape. They don't have the vision for him, though, so he will be able to get out okay. They did drop him down onto about half HP, but this is what we see Secret doing so much. They take a fight on the front lines, and the Slark just jumps in the back whilst they're all distracted and gets an easy kill on the support. It's really giving Nisha a great game so far.
I am worried for them about these BKB timings on Secret, though. I'd really like to see LGD try and contest this still. Yes, they don't have the Elder Titan up at the moment to give them vision in the pit, but at the same time, like we said, Secret don't take this quickly. They can get over here, LGD.
That's true, but Secret, they're actually going to go for something here as they find FY on the high ground. They're going to take him down. Chalice actually jumps in with the stun. It's an immediate buyback from FY as well. They know they can't give up this Roshan.
Yeah, he just wants to get back in the thick of the action here. They have this ET back up again now, so having the vision coming towards the pit, they are going to know if Secret are up to anything suspicious.
But all this time, whilst the two teams have been playing around each other, Arme, with this Battle Fury, is pulling ahead in net worth.
Yeah, he's having a really good time. Oh, they go up.
LGD up onto the high ground. Puppey very early with the Ghost Scepter there as they jump up. Pop those BKBs on the DK. Now jumping forward. Puppey is dead. There's a Soulbind coming out onto the two BKB targets, but it's very difficult to really follow up on this. Nisha still trying to fight up, but dropping so low. Will drop the Shadow Dance to try and get himself a bit of HP as he tries to chunk down anybody he can find, but Secret realizing they have to get out from this fight. There's not much more they can do here, but at the same time, they do not want to give up this Roshan.
Yeah, Nisha's just starting to hunt back around now, though. I'm not sure how long it is until the courier's up, but if LGD try and go into the pit here, they don't have their BKBs available for if another fight kicks off here, so they're going to have to be a little bit careful, but this damage coming through from the PA, look how quickly they get this Aegis. Oh, I say that.
Far side jumps in with the ink swell and stun. Arme being locked down. He's trying to look for the Roshan, but he's not doing enough damage. Now focusing on Arme instead, but he's vacuumed out of the pit, and down goes Roshan. Arme picks up the Age of the Immortal. Searing Chain's out from mid one, but they've overcommitted to this a lot as Arme jumps in and takes down that Ember Spirit. Zai will die as well, but has the reincarnation. Meanwhile, Nisha trying to get involved with this one. I'm not sure that's the right play. He jumps over the pit. He doesn't have the Shadow Dance for another 5 seconds. He doesn't have BKB for 10. He's locked down by LGD, and Puppey trying his best. The Chain Frost will take off that Aegis. Nisha able to get away with the Shadow Blade.
This Frost Shield just keeping them alive for so long.
You know, cheeky Ghost Scepter out from Puppey just to keep him alive a little bit longer, but FY is staying on top of him, allowing that dagger to come through. 1,000 damage from the dagger, and Ame finishes up Puppey here. Nisha did survive, but still a costly engagement for Secret.
It is costly, but at the same time, they took this Aegis off of the PA, so not going to have that available for the pushes in the next fights, but looks like LGD don't care. They're just running down mid.
They see their timing. They're feeling their momentum right now as they get onto Secret's high ground.
Yeah, they really want to use this DK form to push with the catapults as well, chipping away in the background.
Nisha coming in, actually initiating onto FY here. We'll be able to bring him down quite quickly. The wall comes out. They actually jump onto the back lines of Blob. AU very quickly there. No Soulbind for now, but he does buy back. Zai, meanwhile, he's going to drop. Does have the reincarnation though. Meanwhile, Nisha just in the middle of the fight doing so much work. Chaz taken down now, looking for the... Oh, gets the Basher off. He's got the Basher. Now looking to Somnus. Can he catch him though? The BKB's still out, but mid one is behind. There's a little remnant in, and now that BKB runs out, and LGD, Somnus will fall, and LGD lose 3. Arme up in the top lane, just going to push this one out, but a little bit too ambitious on the high ground push there, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. I'm not really sure about FY. Oh, they get X-Nova as well. But yeah, I'm not really sure about FY's positioning on the high ground there. I feel like he has to be really careful. There's no reason for him to be attacking that tower, and it's not often I doubt this man, but you've got to be so careful. If you don't have vision for this Slark, when you see him coming in, he's going to always go for these, squishy supports first in the Nyx and the Elder Titan.
Nisha with the double damage now, picking that up in the river on the Slark. Maybe look for the high ground. Zai actually incredibly aggressive with that blink up onto high ground, but of course there's 2 heroes dead, so why not? As Secret gets started on this tier 3. No buybacks available from the DK or from FY, but FY will be back in 7 seconds.
There's another double damage room. I just get so fed up with these, I'm telling you.
Well, they will be able to take down the tier 3. They're actually looking for the melee barracks as well. Still 12 seconds until the DK's here, but FY TP'd in the vacuum out with the stun as well, but Nisha will purge it up, popping that Shadow Dance just to finish off the melee racks. Now trying to get themselves away, and the Soulbind as well. Going to hold back Arme, who popped the BKB. Oh no. EU holding back the Phantom Assassin by tethering him to a teammate.
Yeah, fantastic play by mid one there, just managing to remnant out of the vacuum impale combo from the Darkseer and the Nyx Assassin as well, so making sure he doesn't drop.
And this is a really powerful component of Grimstroke, which not a lot of people have been taking advantage of as of yet. But if you can get that ultimate off and then an opponent BKBs, you just have to stun who they're connected to. And Ame cannot get out of that. He cannot blink strike because it is a leash. And if the opponent's stunned up, then he's basically held still as well, because you can't walk out of the soulbind. So really, really nice plays so far from Secret. Using Grimstroke, probably the best we've ever seen him.
Yep. Ember does have this True Strike talent now at level 20 as well, which could come into effect up against the PA.
Nisha going in onto Somnus here, and then popping that BKB so he won't get stunned up, but Puppy and Zai are held still. But it's Somnus who's in trouble. Mid one coming in as well. They turn their attention to FY instead, trying to bring down that Nyx assassin, who will stun up too. Meanwhile, crits actually come through, but it doesn't matter. FY taken down. Nisha is godlike. This Slark is a problem.
They're struggling so much to deal with this Slark, aren't they? He's just BKBing, running into these fights, and they just don't have the damage at the moment. They don't have the control to be able to deal with him. This is what we mentioned. They don't have these big AoE spells like, I don't know, like a black hole or something to keep him still during this BKB time. And he can just dart packed off all these single target stuns. He's just going absolutely crazy at the moment on Nisha. Hasn't even died this game yet.
Well, I mean, it's a Slark game, you know. It's sometimes we see it from Slark. It's not often in competitive matches we see a Slark go completely out of control like this. As always, though, you know, Ame, of all the carries in the world, Ame, he's always that one who will come back and bite you when you're far ahead. And he's done an excellent job of farming up this game, despite being behind, still the net worth leader. And now they actually get a Heaven's Halberd on Zai.
Yeah, fantastic pickup from Zai. I really like this up against the PA. Like we mentioned before, LGD like these kind of hard carries with the 4 supporting acts around them. So if you can keep that one target locked down, especially if you get the halberd off before the BKB comes out from the PA, that could be absolutely key.
Yeah, the disarm, really, really nice versus that hero. And also the evasion as well, not bad in helping you survive a little bit longer. You know, dodging a crit or something like that. Yeah, pretty good stuff.
You talked about the Lincolns as well on the Ember, by the way. I think Slark's building one next I just saw, so we talked about those single target stuns possibly coming out. They're not really going to be a factor anymore, and they're already struggling to lock him down.
Yeah, as if the BKB wasn't enough. Also, 13 permanent agi there, new change. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's a nice little factor, isn't it? Seems small, but could make a little bit of difference secretly.
Exactly. Also the Satanic, and now followed up by a Shiva's Guard on this Ember Spirit here. So he knows that the lockdown is going to be a problem for him, and he's basically just tanking up. Tanky Ember Spirit. Not what we're used to seeing, has to be said.
Yeah, the most probable way of him dying this game is definitely the PA just jumping on top of him. So if he can stack this armor up on Ember, that's going to help him a lot from this physical damage coming out.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I think this kind of just shows how good he is at this hero as well, how much he's played it. You know, only players who have played a hero a ridiculous amount can itemize this to this level of variety, which mid one is right now. I mean, it's pretty mad.
Very true.
I've never seen these items on this hero before.
We have seen like
we've seen Shiva's Guard obviously, but I've never seen a Satanic on a on Ember Spirit, except like super late game where he can get off like a huge a Sleight of Fist and just heal himself up with the active.
True. At the same time, we've seen mid-1 do quite a few different item builds this tournament. You know, rushing the Hex on the OD, going for the Bear build on Lone Druid as well. You know, one working, one not working. But this game, he's going for something a little bit different again, but it feels like he's doing a really good job with it. He's just kind of playing around these fights, being that really annoying mobile core.
Absolutely. Well, heading on to the 36th minute in this pretty exciting game, and that Lincolns is out for the Slark. Things have slowed down a little bit. Secret not showing quite as much aggression. They have been looking for fights, but LGD have not been willing to give it to them.
But there's an Abyssal on the PA now, so that could change these fights. Yes, she had the Basher before, but having the instant lockdown is always going to be nice. Unfortunately, Slark has just picked up the Lincolns, like you say. Makes it a little bit more difficult, but...
Yeah, the instant initiation going to be a problem. And even Dragon Knight picking up the Orchid even. So, I mean, it's great against the 2-core split of Secret if you can get that off.
Yeah, and even if you don't get it off...
Ame jumping in onto Zai here. Zai on the high ground. Looking pretty low here, but the double silence going to come out with that Soulbind mid one. Not sure if he wants to follow up on this. Will back himself out. Going to throw out the double Chain Frost just for fun, but the Yules is up from Nyx Assassin. Ame forced to pop the BKB though. That is costly, but AU gets stunned, critted and stunned by a dagger. Will survive with the Frost Shield doing so much work.
This Ame PA is just tickling the Grimstroke when he has that Frost Shield on him. PA is just not doing any damage.
It's absolutely insane.
And this is why we see the Lich picked up so much against this PA at the moment. Yes, if you get jumped on, you do just die quickly, but Puppy's had really good positioning this game to be able to save whoever's getting gone on by that PA.
Yeah, these frost shields have been key, and it's not something, you know, we talk about a whole lot when it's like, you know, in the middle of the fight, you know, it's not something maybe you notice or you mentioned, but it's always there, and he's always doing a fantastic job of getting it off as well. Also the chain frost as well, you know. Every time there's a Grimstroke, like, he's just like, I'll just throw it in there, you know, on the high ground. Not really any chance of a kill. Whatever, you know. Too cool not to go for it, really.
Give it a go.
2 Ice Blasts jumping around.
120 damage now as well. Oh, those insane right clicks coming out from Lich.
Scary stuff.
Spooky, spooky Lich.
Yep. Hey, maybe with the Frost Armor, he might actually out DPS her. Who knows?
Not so sure.
Okay. Nisha thinking of coming up onto this high ground. They do have a sentry down. He will see himself being spotted as that debuff gets hit away. FY nearly went for the stun. Now realizes that maybe he's in trouble. Actually jumping onto AU here. Meanwhile, mid one chasing down Chalice, but the Grimstroke kept alive and now pops that Ghost Scepter. Meanwhile, they're holding down Chalice. The wall does come out, but Chalice, it's too late for him. The illusion's being annoying, but that's about it. Meanwhile, the Soulbind is out onto the 2 cores. They're going to pop their BKBs, but they're held together for the time being. The ball won't hit in time. Chain Frost not going to multiply this time, but it's not that important as Nisha finding out with Ame. The Abyssal comes down, but Zai is on top of Ame here. He doesn't have the BKB. Now, he's going to be disarmed, but doesn't matter too much as they come in onto the high ground. Puppy torn apart. Zai could be in trouble as well. Secret not looking too good in this fight as Zai's going to die once and almost certainly die again. Although I doubted him before, and yeah, okay. This time, certainly no crazy escape. We are 40 minutes into a game, so Secret losing a pretty important fight there. I mean, I think, yeah, they had to buy back on the Grimstrokes. There's 3 heroes going down and 1 buyback used. The cores didn't die except for Zai, but...
What I don't understand is how is X-Nova on this ET just standing on the high ground there? Where did he even come from? Like, Wraith King and Puppy on this Lich just walk up the hill and X-Nova says, hello, and just stomps him, and all of a sudden the PA comes flying in. And like we said before, if you win a fight around this Roche pit on LGD's side, you can take this Roshan and get the Aegis so easily.
Yeah, and it's something which Secret are lacking, and I think it was Kyle who said yesterday, you know, if your team doesn't have the ability to take Roshan, then you have problems. You are going to naturally have a disadvantage in the game, and that's something we're seeing in Secret versus LGD right now. I
mean, Secret do have this Rax mid from where they won the fight before, but this PA is getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, LGD definitely starting to turn the tides in their favor.
It looks like...
Yep. As the net worth reflecting exactly that. Only 2k advantage for the gold on Secret right now. Make that a 1k after the Shrine drops as well.
And I feel like these BKB usages in these fights are going to be so key now, especially when they get to these low durations, you know, down to the 5-second mark. It's going to be so key as to when and how you pop that BKB in the fight.
Here we go, LGD onto the high ground. They want this buyback from Zai. Well, Nisha will spawn up, jump in. Double silence, double chain frost as well. Going to bounce between the 2. BKBs are available, and actually that is very unlucky. Both the chain frosts just go completely away from both the heroes. It happens sometimes.
Ame still has this Aegis though, just going up to the high ground.
Yep, they send him up. Nisha on him with the Shadow, but the big back wall in the background. It's going to stun all 3 as well. Oh, the Nyx comes in and gets a beautiful stun, and Secret, they lose 3 heroes just like that. Ember Spirit finds Nisha. Ame, he gets a kill onto Nisha as well. It's got like street port down. Zai in the middle of this fight stuns up the PA, but Secret looking very hurt right now as their racks are being taken by LGD, and now they jump forwards for more. They're looking for Ayu. They actually find him. Mid one, and Nisha need to find something here. That's going to be something. They bring down Chalice. Ame fighting up, but he still has his Aegis. As for the rips through, doesn't seem to land onto anybody. Secret, can they really hold here as Ame jumps forwards? Another vacuum. Ame trying to get the damage off onto this slot.
Mid one's in trouble.
Mid one, he's scuffed. He's being brought down. Can he actually make it out of this one? He cannot. That is a dieback from mid one. LGD might as well just ended this game. Nisha, he gets 1 kill at least, pounces out, but it's him versus the world and it's not enough. Nisha's going to die again. Both carries dead without buyback. Zai just trying to fight up the last line of defense, but it is a weak line indeed. And GG is called by the Secret captain. LGD will turn it around despite a very cool performance from Secret, but unfortunately, they just couldn't take the objectives. They couldn't take Roshan, they couldn't take the towers, and in the end, that does mean that LGD are able to turn it around.
What an absolutely stunning game. That was fantastic. And this is why there's, the two of the best teams